Hey, sixth graders, Mr. Brennan here. I got to tell you, it's about to get interesting. You know, you've been calculating the perimeter of stuff for a long time. You just add up the sides. But the area you started doing in fourth grade for rectangles. And then we started doing parallelograms that are just like rectangles, right? Base times height. And we use that formula to derive the area of triangles, which is 1/2 base times height, because we know two triangles open up to make a parallelogram. Well, we're going to use what we learned in triangles to figure out trapezoids. So trapezoid is a shape you've known since you were a little tiny kid, but this one's a little bit more complex because now we understand the distributive property, so we can see how things fit together. So our learning target today is going to be to understand how to use or create the formulas for finding the area of trapezoids, and also our success criteria. Let's say 80%, because I think this is a little harder to understand because of the distributive property, but not really, because you're just going to learn a formula, and once you understand how it works, you'll have it forever. You don't need me to tell you that a trapezoid is a quadrilateral. It has four sides. See, 1, 2, 3, 4. And it has one set of parallel sides. The other two sides are not parallel. That's what makes it a trapezoid. But I think you did know that. So let's look closer. Trying to figure out the area of a trapezoid gets really easy when you notice something. If you notice that because it has four sides, all you need to do is divide the trapezoid in half like that, and you've got two triangles. So you know how to calculate the area of those triangles. It's 1/2 base times height. So this one is going to be, this triangle right here is going to be 1/2 base times height. And this triangle here, you've got the base, 1/2 base, and the height of this one is here. So you're going to have 1/2 base times height. So you know it's one triangle, T1 plus T2. Base times height, base times height. And all trapezoids will do that. So whether it has, like if this side were straight and this were right angle, it doesn't matter. If it's got four sides and two of them are parallel, then this is going to work. So let's look at what this does to our formula. So we learned that all trapezoids can be divided in half, right? And so you just into two triangles, and you just add those two triangles together. But that's kind of unwieldy for a formula until we notice one thing. Well, this height here, which could be this height here of this triangle, it's exactly the same as that triangle here, which could be the height of that triangle. So they're the same. So I don't need to double them. Not only that, way back, maybe you remember. Do you remember lesson 3.4 when we learned about the distributive property? Well, think about this. Lesson 3.4. Now we're on lesson 4.3. Huh? Does that mean anything? No, not really, but it's interesting though, I think. So we learned about factoring equations. If I'm going to factor this, I noticed, look at the factors. They both have a half. 1/2 the height times, well, this base, we'll call this B1. You want to? Plus B2. So there's our formula right there. All I got to do is say 1/2 times one base plus the other base. And to figure that out, I do what's in the parentheses first. I add this base right here. Let's call this 1, and that's 2. So all I got to do is add the bases together, multiply by half the height, or multiply by the height and then a half. It doesn't matter because we know about the commutative property of multiplication. So this becomes really easy. That's our formula. We just need 1/2 height times b, the base 1 and base 2. So what looked really complicated, right? All we need to do is remember that all trapezoids are, doesn't matter how I slice it, I got this height here, is the same as this height here. And I just got base 1 and base 2. I add them together. I divide by 2, multiply by the height, and there it is. So you're going to do the exercises on page 170, the even problems. Once again, I encourage you to use the tools you have over here. If you have any questions, use your classmates. Also, click into Miss Goodwin because I know she'd love to talk to you. So hope you have a great day and a great math period.